On today's episode of Unbinged, we're going to be breaking down and reviewing Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 1. Guys, DC has never been better. I'm so hyped right now. We're also going to be breaking down how they're going from the DCEU to the DCU, all in just one simple scene. Theories about what is next for these characters, because there are so many alternate universes that we could be looking at here, plus all the Easter eggs that you may have missed, all that and more on another episode of Unbinged, starting now.
This is your spoiler warning for Peacemaker and the DCU.
Guys, DC Studios has never been better. This show instantly has me so hyped. I went back, rewatched all of season 1. It is so much better than I remember. And then going into season 2, I'm really excited for where we're going. And we're going to talk about all of that, everything we saw here in episode 1. But before we do, I want to let everyone know this is a brand new YouTube channel for us, but the pod has been around for a minute. We've switched over to a brand new YouTube channel here, starting over, and we're going to be covering Peacemaker, like you see right now, Alien Earth, Task over on HBO Max, Gen V, Stranger Things, Fallout, It, Welcome to Derry. This is going to be your show to come to and listen to or watch right after you watch these shows on TV. So make sure you are joining us for that. We're also on the audio side on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. So make sure you subscribe either here on YouTube or on the audio side. Like this video, comment down below with your thoughts on the video, and I promise we get back to every single comment. Guys, back to this show, because DC Studios, everything's looking good. James Gunn, 3 for 3, 4 for 4 right now if you include the Suicide Squad. But what I love that they're doing is that they're well-rounded right out of the gate. This isn't something kind of like how Marvel just kept kind of hitting the same, like they were spamming the Iron Man button over and over. DC has gone and they hit on animation, film, and TV. And it's all been James Gunn, so it's felt very cohesive. But I think what I liked most about this and what we get instantly from this episode of Peacemaker is that the DCU has the ability to do so many different things and welcome a lot of different audiences.
Yep. And I think it's because it's the different tones, and I think James Gunn isn't afraid to accept that. Whereas like Marvel, we always got the same flavor, and they're like, we're going to have a good cameo. We're going to have a leading man or female. It's going to be a lot of quippy jokes, and then we're going to have a big bang, then it's done. Oh, by the way, another cameo at the end that's going to set up for the next movie, and then we're going to do it all over again. Where
so will return in Avengers, whatever.
Who gives a fuck? Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. But like with this, even them keeping the Batman separate, it feels to me, this feels like the comic books, where it's like right here, there's several Batman stories. There's several like Superman stories. Some of it is cohesive in its own thing, and then some of it is just a standalone story that just fucking awesome. And I think that's great. Like they're not going to let. I don't think they're going to let canon get in the way of a good story, but at the same time, the canon is really good.
Well, they've already showed us.
And story writing is really good too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Coughlin, but before I let you go, the storyline is great. They're doing a lot of the therefore writing and then writing. Like we've talked about in the past with the South Park writers, how they do it. It feels connected to the Superman universe while also telling its own story. Everything is very self-contained, and you're getting payoffs for pretty much everything that you see on screen.
Well, what's even more brilliant to me is the fact that James Gunn is willing to go back and retcon something if it doesn't work or if it doesn't fit with his new canon.
That's ballsy.
And he's unabashed.
It was ballsy.
Unabashedly like, fuck the Justice League. They're out. The Justice Gang is in. And I'm almost surprised that they didn't go back and change that scene in the first season itself, not just this previously on.
They probably will.
They may eventually. But I thought when I saw that, I had to pick my jaw up off the floor, because I was like, this is so fucking brilliant. Because my mind before the show, I was like, is the alternate dimension that he goes into going to be the one with the Justice Gang and Superman?
That would have been the easy route.
Right. And so the fact that he was like, nah, we're just going to make this a clean sweep from the start in the previously on, which I can't imagine how many people skipped that and are like, wait, what happened? So just so smart from James Gunn. And my one worry about the DCU moving forward is when he starts to take less and less control of the product as the director, and he just steps back as a he steps back as a producer. Are we going to have that same cohesion with storyline? I believe that he will be able to have that creative control to be able to make it work, but that's my one possible worry at this point.
what I like Kaufman, what he's doing is he's giving himself that golden parachute here where he's making it so that everything is different. It doesn't have to be cohesive, and it can have different tones so that we don't get to a Supergirl and go, oh, well, James Gunn didn't direct this and you really feel it and that makes it bad. No, we can get there and be like, oh, this is actually great and he didn't direct it. So the DC universe can go in so many different directions. And like, we're already seeing that here with Peacemaker too, man. Like we already did the spoiler, like the orgy scene. We're not in Kansas anymore, bro. Like this ain't Superman. This ain't anything that we have seen before in the previous DCEU. This is closer to the boys than it is anything else, and they're kind of playing in that sandbox where we can be all the way on the spectrum of Marvel and be cutesy, but we can also be all the way on the other end where there's just swinging dicks on your TV.
What's cool is this,
and then Batman's another spectrum. It's like, you know, if you think about
it.
This reminds me of a little bit of Creature Commandos, where some of those scenes got pretty wild because it was animation, and now that they're showing us in live action, I think it's incredible that we're seeing they're not afraid in the this new DCU to just go for it. Just let shit fucking get wild. Let's go.
Yeah, so, I know. I was one of the people that, like, I was hand cutting fries and grilling some chicken tenders for dinner, like while the thing was going. So I actually had
what a flex.
Yeah,
I was hand cutting fries.
I had to, so I missed the
chicken tendies.
The early.
I was blanching some stuff over there on this. Like, what?
I gotta say, for the brand, the fact that I'm eating chicken tenders and French fries, they are grilled chicken tenders, and I air fry potatoes on there. So like, I can't, you know, like I do enjoy stuff sometimes, but the point is, I missed the opener about the Justice Gang, and then I went on Twitter and I was like, what? So I had to like go back and rewatch it. So I know that there's plenty of people that hit skip because I was binging Peacemaker while I was working during the day and didn't feel like I needed it. And then to the point of what you mentioned about like what James Gunn does and his fingerprints on everything. The one thing that I really believe in is what he says, and he's already been rejecting scripts. Like, this isn't ready, is that like, even though he won't be there to direct it, he's going to at least say, this is okay and this is good. So even if like Matt Reeves is doing his Matt Reeves shit with the Batman, it's fine, but it's at least going to be a good story. So it doesn't even matter if it's going to be James Gunn or not. Whereas like, we're reading now about Avengers Doomsday, and I don't want to make this pod MCU versus DCU, but it's the filmmaking where they're like, all right, let's get all these people together because this is their schedule. Let's film some shit. Let's see where the story is. And then we'll go back and make reshoots to make an actual movie. That's where we come up with those problems. And I think James Gunn is adamant that that won't happen here. And we may get slower projects, but I think it's just going to be more impactful when we get them.
As long as it's quality projects, we can deal with them being slower release, because then we know the care is being taken to give us properties that we will enjoy and cherish going forward, versus, oh, well, we just got another piece of slop out. I guess we're going to spend $20 to go watch it in the theaters.
Mm-hmm. To keep like on the Jag food train here, James Gunn is the chef that won't send something out
until it's ready.
He won't get it out of the pass unless it is
refire
right.
it.
Like
exactly.
He's not just sending shit to tables, man. And I love that. And honestly, that's what's going to build trust with us in the DCU, because we have been fucked over so many times with this DCEU with bad acting, bad scripts, bad movies,
executives.
Everything. And so this feels a lot better. So retconning the DCU was ballsy,
Brilliant.
a bold
Fucking
choice.
brilliant.
And it was the tough choice to make, because he could have easily been, oh, look, I walked through a new door and this is the David Cornsweet Superman universe. But no, he just said that shit didn't happen. I'm going to keep the Suicide Squad stuff, some of it. I'm going to keep Peacemaker season 1. And I'm just going to swap out some of these characters. So we go back and look at it. We get the Justice Gang, Supergirl, and Superman all showing up at the end of season 1 of Peacemaker there, instead of who was the original Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Flash, and Superman. No Metamorpho here, which was pointed out online. That's because this is a flashback. So this takes place prior to Superman. So Metamorpho would not be in that group just yet. So this is obviously when Kara is still not out running around to, Red Sun planets getting trashed.
It's not her birthday.
Also, probably Also, probably why there's no Crypto hanging out with Superman either. Unclear still whether we're going to get Viola Davis as Amanda Waller. I would think it would make sense. Koff, can we get your Amanda Waller impersonation?
My name's Amanda Waller. I'm not a crook.
Yeah, it's
Yep,
Nixon,
you nailed
guys.
it.
If you
Nailed
hear
it
from the
every
old
time.
channel, you'll know it. Like Koff's impressions are all
They're just
Nixon.
all Nixon. Variations of Nixon.
What I love that they're gonna do here is like they didn't dance around it. They didn't take the whole episode to be like, okay, now he's discovered this new universe. They just did it. They did it, and they were very intentional at saying previously on the DCU. That felt so intentional to do that. I love that they did that. And now what it does is it's going to open up the story where when we go to these alternate universes, they're not just simply plot devices to tell you why Peacemaker is in this new universe. It's actually going to tell story. It's not just something where it's a convenience anymore. It's going to tell real story. And honestly, guys, the way that this whole thing is leaning, it feels like it's going to be a lot of alternate universe therapy. It's going to be a much deeper show than I think we came to know in season 1. A lot of dealing with death, with life, of what could have been. I've got a theory on that later, but I think you guys can see the theme of the show almost in the new intro song and dance here. It's not as silly and excited as the first season, which I didn't like this one as much, but it's still fine.
No, I actually like the song more, but like
The dance didn't seem to fit
that-
the
You
that's
song.
like sad shit.
that. Yeah, I was about to say it. Yeah,
Jag's our resident sad boy
So I think the song
with his grilled tendies and his hand cut fries, listening to My Chemical Romance with the lights off. Yeah.
Yeah.
but no 30 Seconds of Mars, because fuck Jared Leto.
None.
No,
Fuck
fuck
Jared Leto.
that.
Yeah.
By
I
the
actually
way,
thought about
is that an indirect
yes,
shot?
it is. It's
It
absolutely,
DCU? Come
absolutely
on.
it is.
Come
He goes
on.
out of
Yes.
his way to
Come on.
I don't even think it's just DCEU. He hates Jared
Yeah.
Leto, dog. Like he goes out of his way to
Like,
catch,
multiple
to throw a
times.
stray at Jared Leto.
He's like, fuck, yeah,
So
fuck 30 seconds. They say it like 4 times, like, fuck 30 Seconds of Mars.
They even did a stinger
Yeah,
at the
that's
end
what I'm
where they
saying.
kept talking about
And that's
it. Man, like, they were
Clearly a
not
shot
holding
at
back
Jared
anything.
Leto, which is wonderful.
And I feel like, and I love that like James Gunn, this was them like recasting Rhodey, where he's just like, we're here now. This is it.
Deal with
And,
it.
like, yeah, just deal with it. Exactly. And I love that you said that this whole season, and this is what I thought, and I would have been okay with it if it was, okay, we're just going to bring Peacemaker to the DCU, and this is going to be his version of Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm okay with that, but it's not, and it's pretty
I
brilliant.
was worried that's what it was going to be.
Yeah. And I honestly think though that like the way that he's shaping it up, it almost feels like a parody and anti-multiverse where everything's just like, no, we don't want a fucking multiverse. Like it's bad. We don't want to do that. You know?
Yes. So that's exactly how I look at this whole thing of like this quantum closet that has all these doors to all these different
99
universes, and
doors.
it matches what the show is so well, which is, hey, we're going to be in this DCU from now on. We're saying goodbye to the DCU, what was, what could have been, all that, because the grass is not always greener in all these other places. And we don't need to go into a bunch of million different fucking universes to make our universe better. It's different, and that's fine. And we can leave it there. Like, it just plays on so many levels too. And it's also just going to be, that's what the shows, the movies, the characters, everything is going to be like. They're all going to be within their own little pocket universes, and that kind of plays onto everything that Lex did in Superman. And just, it's honestly, I think it's brilliant writing. I think it's capturing the theme, and I'm really excited to see where it's going to go.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Do you think that cryptid looking alien thing that walked out is another version of Chris Smith, just from a different dimension?
That's what I thought. I literally thought it like that's Alien.
Like Peacemaker alien?
He had the Sean Gunn bill.
Martian
Yeah,
Peacemaker?
something like that.
He
It
had
looked
the
like a
Sean
It
Martian.
did. It
Gunn
looked like a
bill.
green Martian.
That did
A
it?
little bit.
I didn't think so.
I will say that's like the one time where the practical costuming like didn't look good. It was almost like you can see the zipper
Yeah.
type thing. Like you can actually see like where the mask and the neck don't
Looks
meet.
like a bad
And
That
I
was
horse.
wonder
Sean
if
Gunn
that's
under there.
intentional.
We all know.
I know
that.
it is. Yes,
Yeah.
of course it is. But like they've always done such a good job at creature stuff, at least in a James Gunn movie. Like I've always been impressed by it. This is the
So
one time I was
I
like,
wonder if that might be
all right.
intentional then. Maybe it turns out to be a dude in a mask.
do think
Like
so.
it might be a dude in a costume. And that's what it turns out to be. He pulls the mask off. It's fucking.
fuck you, you crypt keeper looking motherfucker.
I'm waiting for that gag to pay off more because I think it's gonna pay off into something funny.
Well, I've seen it in the previews where he's like coming out of the house and shit. I'm pretty sure.
He's in the opening dance too.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly.
He is in the
So like
background.
He could
Yeah.
just be the janitor from season
Right.
1, where you
Yeah,
just get a
that's
funny
true.
moment and that's it, right?
That's true.
Or he could be kind of the recurring like old man neighbor that was always there.
Where's your coterie
You
of
gotta have a
supervillains?
villains.
Put him 6 feet down. Batman's a bitch.
By the way,
All right.
that list that came out, I think Dave Bautista and John Cena are the top 2 wrestlers turned actor.
Yes.
And it's like tier
Not even close.
than The Rock. Like it's like The Rock has an A24 movie that's coming out. I'll reevaluate whenever I accidentally put that movie on, you know, but like until then, it's not even close. Like John Cena is just fucking hilarious, man. Like he's just so good. And he plays like when he gets sad, I feel sad. It's not just like
Dude,
like it feels real, like the whole spectrum in this show. Like I want to do cocaine and like have orgies with you, man. I'm right here with you, dog.
He's like us. He gets us.
Okay, so establishing this new universe, right? Like we have our heroes, the Justice Gang, who I'm assuming this takes place after Superman, because they're realizing like Superman's not going to be part of what they're doing. He's still kind of his own thing. And maybe they're saying, okay, stuff is getting bigger and more challenging. We need to keep adding. Like, let's just, you know, we're in a hiring spree right now. We get to see Maxwell Lord, played by Sean Gunn, Hawkgirl, and Guy Gardner. And Maxwell Lord sort of gives me the goofy Nick Fury vibes here. And I love that it honestly, Jag, like you said it, how all these little pocket dimensions are kind of poking fun at the alternate universe stuff and timeline stuff in Marvel. And that's kind of how the Maxwell Lord thing feels. Like everything does sort of feel like a jab at the old DCEU and at Marvel a little bit with James Gunn. Like he's fucking Tom Petty all throughout this DCU. And like, I don't hate it, like, and not everyone's catching it either.
If it's funny, it works.
It's just subtle enough. Yeah, it's just subtle enough that like the power nerds that are here right now will get it, but it's not going to be like this like trending thing on Twitter where it's like James Gunn said fuck Kevin Feige.
He's got enough. Right? He's got enough deniability to be like, no, what are you talking about? That's not a reference to that. But it's a wink and a nod. Exactly, right. It's a wink and a nod to be like, yeah, fuck it is.
What I love that they did here with this scene, first of all, hilarious, the whole like interviewing scene. We see, I think it was White Rabbit come running out of that building, like crying, and then, you know, Peacemaker sits down, he's doing the whole interview thing, and honestly, like John Cena did a great job there. He did a great job there of kind of like going through a range of emotions and how awkward an interview can be all throughout this thing, being utterly hilarious between these 3 characters. And I think despite like, yes, it set up some really good comedic beats, but what I think it did even more so is sort of establish what these heroes are. Like this was less about introducing us and doing an exposition on Peacemaker and more of an exposition on these characters from Superman that we didn't get to learn about and what heroes truly are in the DCU. Because right now everything is this corporate funded thing where we're supposed to be living in this time of gods and monsters and now the metahumans, and I think it opens it up to a less black and white, good, evil, a more gray area where it's like even the quote gods, these metahumans, can be kind of fucked up and not really care and not be the nice people. And, you know, they're not all Supermans. And I think what that does is it elevates Superman that much more. It's like, he really is special. He really is special when you compare him to all these other people.
And it does what The Boys does and all these other things, but it doesn't go all the way there to where the whole theme is like, yeah, powers are bad. And, you know, where it's, and again, and I'll use this term again, the power nerds who watched Justice League Unlimited, that's the Justice League. It's not just you have Egos, Batman and then you have the Flash and then you have like the Superman, Wonder Woman types, the 3 archetypes where you have crazy fucking psychopath, the Question, which I hope we get, you know, where you have like Captain Green Arrow, he's just like, I think, like Green Arrow's like, I think you all fucking suck and I'm a liberal, and you know, like, he's like, all calling people out all the time.
And then you got,
you know, where like it truly is multiple personalities.
Yeah, that's and I think that's what's so good about that scene is it's showing the humanity the differences in humanity amongst these heroes, right? Like Guy Gardner, we got to see like
Yes.
in Superman, he was a dick throughout that movie, and like he just continues that in here. But then to see Hawkgirl, like we didn't get this out of Hawkgirl really when she wasn't interacting with Guy Gardner. Like she was kind of a dick to Guy Gardner back when he like they were playing off each other in Superman. But in this scene, we see like no, that's just kind of like she extends that to everybody when she's bored or when she's like, you know, wants to get out of there. So I think it's a really good job of, like you said, elevating Superman, but also showing the differences and the different types of humanity that we're going to encounter with these heroes. Because I think that's one thing, and again, going back to the MCU, is one of the things they really struggled with was to provide variety amongst their heroes, and they all kind of hit the same note. And so it feels less varied, whereas this feels like a true lived-in world where we're going to see so many different types of people, different types of heroes, different types of villains even, that it truly feels lived in like a real breathing living world.
And the other characters that I want to see in here, like everyone was like, I want Booster Gold, and I didn't quite get it. But now that I've seen what James Gunn is, this Booster Gold has to be in this universe, man. Yeah. He has to be in this universe. And I'm even okay with like a Kumail Nanjiani, like people keep casting him. I think that's like the ideal fucking Booster Gold. This silly guy that's just like, hey man, I need some screen time.
Where's my influencer clout?
Dude, I love this because like Jag, I think you nailed it. There is the JLU, this Justice League Unlimited vibe where I think we can get so many different factions of heroes and different types of heroes, and it's a more ambiguous group, not your typical Justice League that you've seen, or even this Justice Gang, and then you're kind of like 1099s, your individual contractors that show up in Batman, and these guys like that they're not really part of this corporate funded shit, and they're not like the righteous group either. I think that makes this so much more entertaining. I think this makes it so much more intriguing, and what it does is it just grows this sandbox for the DCU. I'm excited for that. Okay, enough glazing of that. Let's move on to some of these characters and like storylines of what we're seeing here. We get not introduced, but I guess reintroduced here to Rick Flag Sr. This is now the third time we've seen him. We had Creature Commandos, we had Superman, and now we're seeing him again.
He's had a artist.
Baby powder his hair or something.
Okay, I was gonna bring that up.
Like,
James Gunn talked.
He was in another.
Okay, so they talked about that.
It's just a practical thing because Frank Grillo was in a different project where he had to have dark hair, so they just didn't have time to color it before he filmed this. But they are explaining it in universe by saying that Frank Grillo Sr. is vain and doesn't, now that he's out of the field and he's in charge, he wants people to think he's younger. That's the in-universe.
We also don't have a timeline of when Creature Commandos took place.
Well, it's clearly before
so
this.
If that is...
because Amanda Waller is in charge.
No, I'm saying if it is... Well, then if it's also before Superman, like he could have been letting his hair go gray and then he gets a little vain about it. And, they can easily... Yeah. I think this is one of these things like James Gunn is not afraid of explaining shit away. And he also just kind of laughs at us when we get to like, well, actually his hair was gray in the animated series. And he's just like, guys, fuck off. It's a show. Like, we're having fun. Sorry, Jag. So I'm not telling you to fuck off. That was James Gunn.
For sure.
James Gunn tells
he can L'Oreal diet and like we're just like, oh, well, that explains it. And that's it. And maybe we get to reference that later, and he and Economos just like start sharing like dye brand talk throughout the like awesome. It could happen. It's absolutely in there.
Economos is like, who's your guy?
Who's your guy? Oh, it'd be great as on Peacemaker. They get face to face, and Peacemaker starts calling him die head or some shit like that. Like to play off of season one. It's like dye beard and dye head. There you go.
We get a little like sweaty dye just dripping down, going full Giuliani there. That'd be great.
Fantastic.
All right. So we get Rick Flag Sr., who just to go back to it, Peacemaker killed his son Rick Flag Jr. in the Suicide Squad. There's some connective tissue there, but once again, everything still remains contained. There's the fear of the metahumans that have been breaking out of Belle Reve, which is something that is discussed in this. Also, there was that kind of throwaway line in Superman where it's like, if you're betting on these metahumans, well, they kind of run things now, especially after, Superman and Justice Gang is out there. So we've got Rick Flag Sr. and Sasha Bordeaux is another character that is being introduced to this DCU for the first time, which A+ casting. Sol Rodriguez, just fantastic. She also auditioned for The Engineer in Superman. And after she did not get that, James Gunn was like, I know a role that's going to be perfect for her, and put her over here. So I really like both these characters, these actors in there. I think we're going to get some interesting story there, where I have a theory. I mentioned this earlier, that I would bring up this theory about loss and alternate universe and everything. Rick Flag Sr. being a part of this series this season feels so intentional that we are going to get a payoff with Rick Flag Jr. And I've got two things here. One, I think in this alternate universe that our Peacemaker has gone to, we see that he used to date Harcourt, or it's his ex, and they talk about how she is dating a military man.
Oh.
I think that military man is Rick Flag Jr.
Ooh.
And I think there's going to be a lot of, think about it. This Peacemaker, this Chris Smith, is going to be surrounded in that universe by the three men that he has killed: his brother, his father, and Rick Flag Jr. And then getting chased down by Rick Flag Sr. And all while he thinks like, man, this is the life I could have had. My dad loves me. I'm a hero, a good hero that is beloved. We have this nice home, everything. He's going to be tormented by this nightmare of all the people he has killed. Like, this is going to be a hell of an alternate universe therapy session. And I'm so excited for it. And I think Rick Flag Sr. is also going to chase him down into this alternate universe and come across his son, Rick Flag Jr.
Ooh.
Well, do you think Joel Kinnaman's gonna come back after he's just like, I would never come back and do a show like that?
Yes.
It's like, really, you gonna do Altered Carbon season 3? No one
Hey,
watched that fucking show.
Money talks. Money talks. So
There's James Gunn has not even let his publicist see the final 2 or 3 episodes of
really?
Peacemaker, because he said there are massive cameos and massive spoilers that, I mean, I would hope that this isn't the massive cameo, but I'm very curious to see what it's going to be. I think there's a lot in store there.
I like that theory. I think it's, and I wonder if that's the direction it goes. Maybe the alternate universe, Rick Flag Sr. is dead. And so now this is a way for this Rick Flag to kind of step into an alternate dimension where his son is alive and kind of take that role on. So I wonder if that may be a direction we go in, and that could be how they resolve, you killed my son. Well, here's a replacement. Go live happily. Because I think that's the red herring. I think is everyone's going to expect Peacemaker to want to stay in this alternate universe, but I think the overarching theme of this is going to be him coming to terms like there is no other life for you. Like you have to,
there's no happy
you
ending,
have to
man.
deal with the hands that you're dealt, and you have to get over that, or you're going to stay stuck in your arrested development. You can't grow unless you get past those traumas and those demons in your past, and so you can't just replace it. But I could see.
Yeah, I do think that this actually ends with him having to get rid of this alternate universe.
Ooh.
And that there is no more quantum closet, and we're cutting off all these other timelines. Yeah. And it really establishes this new DCU where everything has happened is canon going forward. Right. Even though everything is self-contained, like there is no undo button. You know, we can't edit undo and go to an alternate universe and like accidentally show up there.
What's the Rick and Morty joke?
We'll probably end up with some of that with like a booster.
When Marty fucks with the squirrels, and he's like, "We only have 3 times we could do this, Marty." And they have to go to the alternate universe.
Yeah.
not a Rick and Morty guy. Sorry there.
Yeah. I am.
Don't
one of
fuck
the biggest
with
things.
Is the
one of the biggest things that. I mean, I don't already. I didn't need Rick and Morty to tell me that. They're hard to catch. All right. One of the biggest things that was obviously shocking with this episode, but hey, it's TVMA. If you were sitting there watching it with your kids, maybe you're just a bad parent. Yeah. Like
the amount of fucks
there's
they
a lot
drop
of questions
in this show.
that I have for you. Yeah. Right. There's a lot of murder and a lot of violence, and like also John Cena fucked some girl in the first episode of the first season, so it's not like sex isn't there. A butterfly. Okay, we get the orgy. We get the crazy orgy. Which what's our actor's name? Agee? What's
Steve
his first
Agee.
name? Steve Agee? Steve Agee. So I was listening to the Peacemaker podcast with James Gunn, and they were talking about how like everyone sort of knew in the script it's supposed to be an orgy. He did not realize that when he walks up to the window to look in that he was actually going to be seeing all those people doing that. So many special extras there doing this. And like just imagining that, like what it was like is wild, because seeing it for me, I know, was crazy. this really established that this DC universe is going to be very different.
I
Yeah.
love how they filmed
This
it.
is
I love how they filmed that scene where you see John Cena's the focus and he's sitting on the couch and all the activities like happening around him. And it just goes to show like how
You think the cameraman was wearing a raincoat?
multiple.
what kind of raincoat? You mean the literal?
Yeah, literal. Like he was out there looking like Paddington.
Okay, I got you.
But
Yes.
it really God, it really just goes to show how disconnected from reality at this point Peacemaker is. Like he's trying to disassociate so hard, and I love how that counteracts against the other characters also doing basically the same thing but their own version, right? Like Harcourt goes to the bar and gets the shit kicked out of her because she's trying to feel something because she's a bit of a masochist. We have Adebayo who's in just straight denial, like her life is falling apart. She's like, no, it's fine. Like I got my own business, it's fine. And then Steve Agee is just like, well, I'm kind of in the same place, but I know there's better things, but I'm still in the same place. I'm still fucked. And then you got Vigilante. He's just doing
the
his
only
business.
one that's still happy.
God, what was
Ask me anything about owl
Are
facts.
the cones or tubes? Cones. Nope, they're tubes. Fuck you. No.
How
would
their eyes would just fall out?
I fucking love Vigilante. But it's just such a great way
Jack,
of showing.
You were the one saying the actor needs an EGOT for doing both Harry Potter and this. That's
dude.
McLagan.
Freddie Stroma, dude. It's and I knew this from season 1. Literally, the entire cast had no clue who he was. Really,
They didn't know he's British
guy,
until he showed up to the press junkets.
Yeah, and they didn't know he was British. They're like, "What?"
John Cena was blown away.
He just stayed in character. Yeah, he had to stay in character the whole time to nail it. It's fucking hilarious.
We need him in more stuff, man.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Like he's just so fucking hilarious. And I think my favorite thing about Vigilante is the concept. What if a sociopath tried to be a good person? Like legitimately, he's just like, well, he's a racist. We should kill him, right? Because like if you've heard me on this podcast, you've heard me like I feel like that sometimes. I'm like, man, we should kill that guy. He seems dangerous. Like with zero thought.
He's basically if GI Robot like was a person that just kept living and like just sure, let's kill people.
Do you think I feel bad when I murder somebody for doing graffiti? No. From the first
Oh my God. He's fucking JD Vance with a sword.
Oh no. Those poor couches.
I feel weird for liking him. Dude, the Harcourt stuff was good one, Cough. 5 points Gryffindor for you, man. The Harcourt fight scene was awesome. Like her kicking ass and getting her ass kicked there in the bar.
That suplex was fucking nuts.
Jen Holland, man, shout out because she's crushing this. She is jacked. Absolutely jacked. The fight scenes look good too. Like it doesn't look like one, you can tell when there is or is not a stunt double, and there is not a stunt double in a lot of this stuff. And she's like, the fight scenes look legit. It's not one of these where you can tell that punches are being pulled and stuff like that. I always appreciate that with like a little extra quality in there. Her getting diagnosed with toxic masculinity, just man, the comedic beats in this thing are so fucking
your
good.
face says you're a fucking
I think
cunt.
it's sexist that you would think only men can have toxic masculinity.
England cunt means friend. Oh God, that killed me.
She's me.
God, that scene was so
when she called him a cunt, like I legit laughed out loud. Like it takes a lot for anything to make me do that. That was funny.
God, that was so good. And what's funny is like clearly that's clearly Amanda Waller still pulling strings and like fucking with Harcourt for like messing with her stuff. But it's at the same time it's like, well, technically they're right because you are clearly exhibiting all of the things he just said, and like you're not gonna deal with things in a healthy way. But at the same time, it's like you kind of want that person on the front lines. Like you need that person fighting alien invasions. So why would you?
Well, that's what I like about these characters is that like none of them, their lives are shitty, but it's also because like they are all kind of shitty people. Like they are getting what they deserve. Like it's not like they're all a bunch of, yes, they saved the world this one time because they got there before the Justice League did or the Justice Gang did. Like that doesn't just undo everything else you've done. And also like they talk about it. Like Peacemaker, I think, expected a different life, and he doesn't have that. And so it almost feels like, man, being a hero is still kind of thankless, right? And that's the difference between Superman and Justice Gang and then Peacemaker. Is like Superman's not doing it for people to praise him. Justice Gang is doing it because they get paid. Right. And then Peacemaker is doing it because he just wants to be loved. And it's like all these heroes, like it goes deeper now. It's like all these heroes are doing things for different reasons and sometimes just doesn't work out. And emotionally, like that's why they're fucked up.
Yeah, Peacemaker wants to be a
one of
hero
the themes the boys.
because he got daddy issues. Like it's that simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like it picks up on one of the themes the boys has, but it makes it practical. You know, it's not just like a Disney corporation running these heroes where public perception matters, man. Like it's just like, yeah, man, you're really skilled, but like, didn't you murder people? You know, it's just like you got.
Oh my gosh! And he's like, yes, but I murdered with good reason.
Most of them
were murdered with good reason. And then he asked the great follow-up question of which ones weren't.
Yeah.
Wait,
exactly.
what?
That's such a good interview question, man.
Yeah.
Like, who didn't you murder for good reason?
Well, we see he
It's
murders
valid.
himself by accident. So there you go. There's one.
Spoilers. Yeah, let's get closer to that because we get into this quantum closet. I feel like I'm still calling it the wrong thing, but this quantum closet here where
Pocket
Peacemaker's
dimension.
Sure, yeah, it's also a pocket dimension.
Mhm.
Quantum closet sounds more fun. That's where Peacemaker has all of his helmets and like a billion different doors here, and eagerly just wants to go and fly around. And so what I love here, as James Gunn has mentioned, he likes to take these throwaway aspects from previous movies or shows and make them focal points going forward. And we saw him do that in Guardians 3, where sort of the throwaway has always been Rocket Raccoon being something that was taken apart, put back together. And he's always sensitive about being called a raccoon. And even the throwaway from the first Guardians movie was that Peter's dad is not around, and that Yondu picked him up. And now all of a sudden the second movie is about that. So it's like, this is what they're doing here in this show. I'm really intrigued by this because we get set up with good dad, which is like, it was almost alarming and made me a little uncomfortable to see how nice he was because
think he's still a
never
racist,
the good
though?
character.
I think he's still a racist in that universe.
Robert,
That's
it's Robert
my biggest
Patrick, right?
question.
Are they
Was
racist?
Like, did losing his son make him racist, or was like I kind of got the vibes that
He
he's
was always
always
like
been
that.
racist?
Yeah. I wonder if we're gonna get like a dark undertone to this new universe where it's like everyone's white and it's because they had a genocide. I'm just saying because
Jesus, God
James
damn.
Gunn is not afraid to do some.
Cup, you got there a little too quick.
I'm just
man.
saying.
Yeah, dude.
I wonder if we're gonna get to if there's gonna be that reveal where it's like he thinks he's going to this idyllic world, and it turns out no, baby girl, your dad's just as evil in this world. He's just nice to you.
I think that's very possible. I don't think it's going to be that. I don't know it's going to be that far. I do think there's probably some shit somewhere, right? Like we can smell the poop.
Right.
Like we just got to open up the diaper a little bit more, and I think we're going to get there. But like, dog, that was.
I'm just saying.
You went far. You went the full 11 yards on that
We've only seen
play.
2 people so far, and they're his brother who he didn't kill, and his father who seems to be nice to him. But he still has the dragon
No,
helmet.
we saw 3 people.
Who's the third person?
We saw 3 people.
Oh, and Peacemaker himself.
Which, by the way, great job showing us full strength. What Peacemaker at full strength looks like. Like with all of his gadgets, fighting like a badass. But then also, they still set it up where you understand that there are stakes because even Peacemaker at his full potential can die in the dumbest of ways on accident.
Which is hilarious.
So you're saying, okay,
considering his conversation with Adebayo earlier in the episode, where he's like, "Yeah, tough people die all the time. Not like me though, because I'm way tougher."
oh, that's good. That's a good catch. That's a really good catch. Did you guys also catch? They mentioned imps.
Yes.
In
Yes.
this one.
Imps are
Jizz
canon. Yeah.
Jizz them as
Imps.
Cheerios.
It's a classic embellishment that never happened. I would love the idea that they're like, would it be Peace Might? Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Instead of
God, that'd be
Batman?
great.
Oh, shit.
someone who stands Peacemaker. Like, that actually sounds
wouldn't-
horrifying.
Yeah.
That sounds horrifying.
Yeah.
Little murderous imp. Yeah.
This is okay. That'd be kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of down for that. Like a Peace Might. I like it also. Man, now I want to see like all these little dudes. Bat Might. Mixel Spit Flick.
Mixel.
Like that's another one.
Mhm.
These would be great. These would be so good. Okay, so the crime fighting trio of Peacemaker, his brother, his dad, they're called Top Trio. And Koff, let's go over to the Easter egg corner here.
Sure.
Because you wrote down some awesome Easter eggs, and a lot of it is what we see here in this alternate universe. Because like that's the perfect time to just do. I don't have a better name for this, an egg dump of just being in an alternate universe, and it's like, here you go, here's a bunch of cool shit that you really want to see. So take us into the Easter eggs from this.
Sure. So starting kind of at the top of the episode, we obviously got the Justice Gang replacement of the Justice League with Hawk Girl and Guy Gardner and Maxwell Lord. In the interview scene, we also get the crying White Rabbit, who Maxwell Lord apparently said that she mentioned her camel toe like 30 times in the interview. So great. She's a Gotham villain that fights against like Batman every once in a while.
Listen, at like mention number 8, I think I'm probably leaving.
Right. Like, what the fuck? I'm out of here. When we get into Peacemaker 2's room, we can see some posters around the room that are slightly different than what we are used to in our universe. So like we got the Hanoi Rocks poster with the ROXX. We got Def Leopards, but it's spelled DEAF, and then leopards, and then pour some honey on me instead of pour some sugar on me. Scorpions with a Z, the cruel interventions instead of cruel intentions. But then throughout the episode, we also got peppered in with like little references, like the Clevis Thornweight, however you say his name, the reporter that was in Thornweight, that was in Superman, who had interviewed Lex, and we also got the mention of Belle Reve and metahumans breaking out. We got mention of some pretty early comic villains that the Top Trio seem to have defeated in this universe, like the Rainbow Creature, and
which, by the way,
yeah.
Sorry, the Belle Reve metahuman like breakout stuff, I think also feels like there's some connective tissue to Task Force M and the monsters from Creature Commandos there. Like we're just a hop, skip, and jump away from
for
that.
Sure. We also got to mention a Bloodhaven, I guess is how they pronounce it in this universe. And then Ultra Humanite, which is another like early Superman villain, and even the Evergreen Sentinel was front and center there in the mantle, which is Evergreen is Hal Jordan's home in the comics. So if I missed any Easter eggs, feel free to let us know in the comments.
Let us know in the comments. Yes. Good job, Koff. Good call to action by you, buddy. You're becoming a very good podcaster.
I'm learning.
I like it.
I'd say you're becoming a podcaster.
We'll save
Jack's like, let's
we'll
tone
save
it
the
down.
good for later. Yeah.
We're not in that alternate universe yet. All right, so here at the end, I mentioned we get that death of, let's just call him alternate Peacemaker. From what we see in sort of the teaser going forward is that we're going to get a lot of this Peacemaker in the alternate universe, sort of living that life and playing that out, because who's going to miss him from his universe? Like nobody's really missing him. So he's going to be jumping back and forth, sort of living this life. I don't know about you guys. I think we're going to get to the point where Chris Smith, Peacemaker, getting to live this life he always wanted is not going to pay off the way he wanted. And there is, Koff, like to what you were saying, your theory is that there's going to be something there that kind of makes everything pretty shitty again. Right. Yeah. Like, and I almost wonder if this whole idea of the trio and everything that looks so good, there could be a front there. There could be a little bit more. Like, how and why are they so wealthy? Everything seems to be going really, really well for them. Mm-hmm. I understand, like, maybe you privatize your superhero stuff, but there could also be something a little bit more sinister there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple options. I mean,
where'd the racism go?
That's what I'm saying.
That's where is the racism?
There's a couple options. Like,
who'd have thought that's what we really wanted back for season 2? We're like, no, bring that back.
Well, it's like Koff's genocide fantasy aside.
Not fantasy, theory. I don't fantasize about that. No.
Well, I mean, there's the genocide theory or like what we see in an alternate universe in Creature Commandos. Like, it's not that crazy to think it.
I'm just saying.
It's weird you got there so fast.
Considering who his character was in the first season, that's a pretty big part of who Augie Smith was. So it's this alternate dimension doesn't seem too different from the one he's currently in. So that's a big part of Augie Smith. So for him to be completely, wholesome, if you will, I don't know. There's got to be something. There's got to be something somewhere along the way that just, yes, maybe Augie is good to his kids, but to everybody else, he's a fascist. I don't know. Like, there's got to be something there. Otherwise, what's the?
And is his brother Judge Dredd?
It looks like it. David Demon looks good. Like he looks fucking huge compared. Like I knew he was tall.
He's always been kind of big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but
hey, he's the tight end from the Replacements.
But when you
like he's always been in shape.
but like when you see him as Roy in The Office, it's like, oh, he's a big
The
dude, but he's not like, he doesn't look like he does as this Judge Dredd looking guy. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays, because there's got to be something that's going to convince Peacemaker to stay in his universe instead of staying in this. If it is idyllic, why would you go back to the shit one? Stay in the idyllic one. Just assume your own identity and then pretend to get a head injury, so anytime they're like, oh, well, you don't remember this? Head injury.
Well, boys, I'd love to stay in this idyllic alternate universe with you, but I think we've covered everything here from season 2, episode 1. We're gonna be back again. We're doing this every Friday, breaking down every episode of Peacemaker. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Comment down below with your thoughts on this episode. Maybe you guys have some theories, some Easter eggs that we missed as well. And then we are going to be back again on Wednesday talking about Alien Earth. We got another episode coming there. Guys, like I mentioned, we've got a whole bunch of stuff coming up. We got Gen V, we've got Stranger Things, Fallout, Task, Welcome to Derry. There's so many great shows coming up. So also let us know in the comments if there's something that you want us to cover that maybe I didn't mention here today. But as always, I want to thank everybody for watching or listening all the way through. For myself, for Koff, for Jag, we'll see you next time. Adios.